Thank you for being there, and I'm still being joined by Omoyele Sowore, who is a human rights activist and the presidential candidate of the AAC, the last 2023 presidential election. He joins me visually. Comrade, if you can hear me, good evening, and thanks for joining us on the program this evening.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. It's indeed a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me.
All right. As a presidential candidate who has run for the position of a president, give us a better understanding of what good governance and what you think, if you think the current administration is on the right track with its policies that will impact the life of Nigerians and revive the Nigeria economy. Give us a better understanding of what good governance and the impact of government policies is all about.
Are you asking me to give you a direction regarding if this government is on track, or I don't
Yes, of
understand?
course.
I don't. I don't think it's a question that I've not answered on the show several times.
Yes, but
That
perhaps Nigerians will still want to hear from you for the sake
policy
of.
direction of this government is one of the worst uh, that we have observed, and we feel and we know in every sphere of the economic and political life of the country, and that is why Nigerians are groaning now. We're not just saying it because we do not agree with people in government. Yes, we don't, but we're saying it because that's the reality of what Nigerians are facing right now.
Okay, so you're saying in essence none of these policies looks realistic, and none of it looks like what is going to revive Nigeria, because we had some of the members of APC from the presidential, the spokesperson of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said that these policies that the government has implemented are beginning to yield fruit, but obviously, you don't seem to agree with that. Now, tell us what the key element of good governance is and how impactful government policies and these will affect the economy.
That's why I'm saying I'm a bit confused as to what exactly the questions are. I do not think I need
These
to be
policies of
defining what
this administration,
governance is.
how has it affected or how will it impact in the economy? That is what I want to understand
You
from you.
just said a minute ago that the spokesperson to the president said their economic policies are starting to yield fruits. And I'm wondering whether you, myself, or anyone who is hearing this is living in La La Land, whether we live in a different Nigeria where food prices are, where food is cheap and the city where life is meaningful, where education is affordable, where there's availability of whatever it is they promise they will bring about in the last 2 years. That seems to be something that is not happening, or we all know is not happening. So, within the concept of good governance, which is that the country is properly governed on all fronts, both economically, politically, culturally, and every aspect that governance is supposed to impact life positively. The Nigerian government, as it is today, is operating on the reverse of whatever that is known to be. And that is something that we've talked about and we all know. And so I honestly got a little confused that I have to define what is good governance and what the government is doing. So if good governance is what they're supposed to be operating, then they're doing the opposite. Maybe it's an easier way to break this down to you on your show.
Okay, now let's look at creating solution. Let's talk about solution, because we tend to use 99% of our time to talk about the problems and just 1% talking about the solution. As someone who understands how the affairs of a country runs, how do you think these governments can bring solution? And again, I also want to understand the plans you have come 2027. If you should get in power come 2027, how do you intend to address all these challenges? What do you think are the basic things to be put in place to revive this economy?
So I'm looking at what we have discussed in the past when I ran in 2019 and 2023. We had a variety of solutions that were offered to Nigerians both in print, digitally, uh, and also orally to Nigerians in those campaign halls and town hall meetings and several of events that we had. And what was important to us at that time was to address Nigeria's problem in a way that each solution can help foster development and progress, production, and by extension, economic development. That was why I did say then, and I remain on the same position today, that without addressing power, for instance, fundamentally, the power issue, we are living at a time that the power grid collapses more frequently than it has ever collapsed in the history of this country. And without that foundation of power, energy, you can't have development. You cannot build the economy of Nigeria on the right track when 7 point something million businesses, small businesses, have been closed down in the last 2 years. That is over, that's the size of maybe over 3 times or 4 times the size of the federal civil service. They've all been closed down because things are expensive. The naira um, unstable. It's depreciated heavily. You have energy costs very very high, both at level of uh, uh, petroleum products, which powers our economy a lot. Power, the little power they have, it's very expensive because they've increased tariffs. You have also increased the tariffs of data, which is what provides some people some kind of opportunity to do small business like POS owners and all of that. So all these things are transferred to the consumers who already are overburdened. So you cannot be taken away from people who don't have and have economic development. You actually have to give them opportunities that then will bring in more support to the economic development that you're looking for. So I'm saying that because if I start counting from the beginning to the end, we have said I'll be repeating myself, and sometimes honestly, on some of these shows, we get tired. We just feel like we just get brought on these shows to come and repeat the same things we said. It feels like you know just hot air, and nobody's listening. Nobody cares about these things. We want to talk about issues, when people really care, and issues that matter to us, not issues that help us fill the gaps and having conversations in general in the country. Because, even the value of these conversations for me have become a little bit more watery because everybody's just out there doing talking head on TV shows, radio shows, producing content that really nobody's listening to. So I'm more on the concrete and substance where we can address governance concretely in a way that doesn't allow people who are incompetent, people who have no character, and people who have no experience. When I talk about this, I'm talking about the experience that we get from them to be running our system. And then when we lose that complaint, we just help become analysts, engaging in what I frequently refer to as analysis paralysis. We're just talking all the time, and that's the talking is not the issue. Doing
So
is what's important issue now.
still, but we still need to talk about these issues before they can be addressed. So
Because
Nigerians,
we're offering solutions to people who can't even process solutions. So if you and I finish this conversation tonight or this evening, yeah, we give all the solution. Where is it headed? You know, is it going to people who don't listen? Or yes, you can say that maybe it will make sense to people who are likely to now wake up and consider voting for right people during elections. But you're also confronted with election management systems that don't allow, you know, good people or the right people to even have a chance. So those things have to be addressed. They are more important to me sometimes than
Then
even
how do we
discussing
address
economy.
those challenges? You just talk about the electoral system. How do we sanitize? We remember that Olusegun Obasanjo once said last year that even the INEC body, the Independent Natural Electoral Commission, needs to be sanitized to at least enable them do their job independently and bring to book people who will really put the country in a proper and good shape. So, but then, how do you think that we can tackle that issue in the electoral system? Because you talk about talking about the issues. Now, profile a solution. What do you think is the solution? The best way to go about it?
When I tell you my solution, then this interview will end because it's not something you're prepared for. I've always, almost all the time, told you, everybody who I talk to on issues, that this country must undergo first and foremost an uprising that will put an end to the impunity that brought us to where we are. And it's beyond conversation. So it's beyond just talking. People will have to really do something about the
But people need
social,
to be
economic,
properly
and
informed to know what they are doing.
we're informing them, and but these conversations that helps people who don't listen to just waste our time in the air. It doesn't seem to help even the masses that needs to be educated. That's why you notice that I spend more time these days, doing maybe writing to people who needs to listen than going on TV shows, um, to just be part of the quota and the statistics of how many people come on TV shows every day or at night. So,
Well, if you
so
ask me, nation building is a collective effort, and as a patriotic Nigeria, you just have to keep doing your own part. But, comrade,
that
since you have loads of solutions to offer, just in case this administration give you an offer, will you work with them? Are you open to working with the current administration? Should should they give you maybe a chance to come work with them? Put the will you put the fate of this country in consideration and perhaps consider working with them to put the country in the right direction? Would you do that?
just like asking me if I agree to join an armed robbery gang to rob a bank, uh, and then bring the money back and give to some poor people after killing people in the bank and surrounding. Would I consider it? Of course, it's as bad as that in my own consideration. It's as bad as asking me to join an armed robbery or a kidnapping gang. No, I can never do that, and I would never do that.
Even if it's going to at least put the country in the right direction and in the right space, you wouldn't do that.
We have a team that can do that, not this team of people who are illegitimately occupying power. So we don't. Basically,
So
I don't have
that means you
faith
don't seem
in.
to be worried about the situation of the economy. You don't seem to be worried about it or concerned.
I'm worried about everything, but the economy. I'm worried about politics. I'm worried about everything. But the question you're asking is if I can join them, so that I said I can't.
To
That's
work with
the
them,
answer.
okay, let's to work. Are you
Can't
open
work.
to working with them?
No, no. I have answered in the affirmative. No, I can't. I won't. Never.
Now, moving forward, how prepared is your political party come 2027? Because we can see some political moves that are being made already. The former governor of Kaduna State has recently dumped the ruling All Progressive Congress to join the Social Democratic Party, which is the SDP, in preparation of ahead of 2027. And now I want to ask how concerned about are you, or how prepared are you come 2027? Would you accept any form of alliance?
There are, just like you asked me if I would join government, there are also alliances I can never be part of. I cannot be part of the alliances of genocidaries. People like El Rufai that killed 300 Shiites and buried them overnight, killed lots of people, enabled headsmen to clearly wipe out people in the southern part of the state, pauperize those people, engage in corruption, can be found in their company. It's just like asking me to be the MC at Babangida's book launch. It's not going to happen. Are you getting my point?
Mm-hmm.
So these are people that I can never be in alliance with. And you must understand that people forming coalitions to capture power is different from coalition that we are looking for, which is the coalition of the oppressed, which is to liberate the oppressed from the grip of those who form these coalitions to enslave them. So I can't be part of that. I'm not looking for this. And I know all of them, as you probably know. I know Erufai, I know everybody who, the people we call carpetbaggers, they jump from party to party every election cycle. So, and our own ideological convictions don't wait for election cycles to intervene in the life of our people. We do that on a daily basis. We don't wait for a particular year. So, and if we can be free tomorrow, I'm a happy person. I don't have to wait for 2027.
So you don't see any of the political party vision or ideal aligned with your own political party. So if you don't see that, how strong is your party, or how ready is it to defeat the ruling or progressive Congress, or to make it to the ballot at least come 2027?
The question you should ask is how ready the Nigerian people are to be liberated. Let me break it down for you. In the last election, the highest vote the person who was allocated the highest vote won by less than 10 million. The person who followed is like 8 million or thereabout. And then the third person they rated was 6 million. So all of them combined together is about some maybe 25 million people. But don't forget that over 83 million people registered to vote. So if you deduct that, you still have 50 something people. If those people decide tomorrow to vote, see all these parties and all the sides those you are saying don't mean anything. If Nigerian people are ready to vote and they're ready to vote out there, these guys who are clearly the enemies of their own progress, they will do that without blinking an eye. At the end of the day, yes, political parties are great organizations for, showing the vision of the political movement, and they're giving opportunities for people to see through that organization how things will be done. But political parties don't vote; it is people that vote, and that's why voters are not forced to disclose their election preferences. They are given a voter's card, and they can vote for whoever they want. So, so assuming that Nigerians are tired of this, it won't matter the name of the political party or how strong or weak you might rate it in your own mind. If Nigerians are ready, they'll go with the party that has the best ideology, the best programs for them, and they'll defeat these people like by 12 noon on election day.
So what you're saying in essence, you're not ready for any form of a coalition, and you're just going to stick to your party until Nigerians. Have you wondered how long it's going to take Nigerians to maybe decide?
Maybe tomorrow when they're ready. It could
Until
happen.
they're
Yes, it could, if the tide turns, if the tables turn, it will
But
happen pretty
don't you
fast.
think the table has turned already?
In what sense? In the SDP?
No, no, no. I mean, looking at the economy and the duration of the economy, just everything that is happening. Don't you think the table already turned a long time
Well,
ago?
well, it's tumbled, but the tables turning is an expression of how that can change for good. That's what I.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about the
Thank.
derailment of their gravy train, not just tables. As yes, you're right. The tables are turned against the Nigerian people. I'm talking about the table turning for them. Tables turning for them for their own good.
All right. Thank you so much, comrade, for being with us in the studio. I wouldn't want to waste most of your time. It's indeed a pleasure having you on the
Thank you
program.
so
Thank you
much
so
for
much.
having me. I
All
hope to
right.
see
Thank you
you
so
again.
much. All right.
Thank you.
All right, viewers, this is where we draw the curtain for today's episode on the program. Thank you so much for sticking around with us. Until we'll come your way some other time, keep watching Kaftan Television. I am Missy Emelite.